Welcome back to Staffing the Mission. I hope you're having a great week. And once again, we have with us the COO of Safeguard Recruiting, Doug Larson. Doug, it's been busy. You've been at the Utah Sheriff Show, Chief Show. Where have you been, my man?
Yeah, it was a chief show. It was a great little show there. Met a lot of good people and talked about recruiting with a number of different departments.
And you're about to head out to the Texas show. Which one is that? Just in case anybody's in the area, they can come by and see you.
Texas Chiefs Conference down in Corpus Christi. Come by and see us in our booth.
Corpus Christi. What a terrible place to hang out for a week, huh?
Yeah, we'll be all right there.
Yeah, man. What were you hearing there in Utah? I know you spoke to a lot of folks there. What's the word on the street there?
Yeah, same problems as across the nation, right? Trying to get ahead of the curve with technology and how to use that to their advantage. A lot of departments just don't know what's available to them and how they can utilize that to make their recruiters more efficient and their communication better. A number of departments, they just are struggling to source candidates. And that's the piece we'll jump in and we'll take over for you. We'll get you that volume. So you have a number of great people to choose from, and you're not limited in the amount of people or maybe taking a lesser person. Let's get you all quality and you make the choice and keep a pipeline going.
Yeah, when you talk about we need more applicants, we need more quality hires, it's just about numbers. And we've talked about that a lot. You just need more people coming in the front door, and that's what you're able to provide, is it not?
Yeah, exactly that. We will fill up whatever volume your department can handle. We like to scale it towards the size of your department and your budget. And then we have a proven process that will work these candidates through, keep them engaged, and we'll help you find leaks in your system where candidates are falling off or maybe dropping out because of certain, requirements you have or time blocks. And we'll give you best practices.
Well, today's show, we're making a major announcement. We've got several great partners that we work with, and our newest partner is Tactical Concepts. It's Brian Ellis, and he's got this company that we think is going to be a great addition for agencies. And Brian is in the leadership space. He's taught, and he's been around. He's a 25-year veteran from Northern California, but he's developed a business that really preps candidates and walks them through the process. And the reason we feel this is such a valuable partnership is when we do bring that volume, Doug, there's always dropouts throughout the way. There's always dropouts there's dropouts at the test, there's dropouts at the physical fitness, there's dropouts at the polygraph. But a lot of those dropouts is about anxiety, and the candidates just don't know what to expect. And there's just a lot of nervousness because the process in law enforcement is sort of long, and there's a lot of anxiety about that, is there not?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's from somebody coming from the outside of law enforcement. They don't understand the process. They don't understand the length of the process. And some of them, if you don't have a mentor, you have somebody contacting them, will self-eliminate themselves over something that they didn't need to be eliminated over. And so I think what Brian's doing is a necessary piece in this puzzle, and he can help a lot of candidates and he can help a lot of departments out.
What I love about all of our partnerships, and we have a partner that works with retention and wellness, or another partner that does testing all the way to psychological tests, is that we have a particular niche inside recruiting. We're going to bring you a ton of people that want to work for your department, but there's so many other elements, and we're a full solution-based company, but we don't want to get involved in all that. Like, this is Brian's space. He wants to do the education piece to the candidate. And so what Brian does is he goes to the agency and he says, you're getting this pipeline from Safeguard. How many are converting to hires? And we know there's about a national average of about 4%. It may be more at some agencies, maybe less, but we know there's a national average about 4%, meaning if you get 100 applicants, you're going to hire 4 of them. Well, what Brian's company promises is, let's take that from 4 to 10 or 4 to 8 or 4 to 15. He's going to increase the conversions. And that really is what it's about, because just by educating the candidate through this online platform he has, and basically you provide that platform to each candidate. So the candidate can not only go through the process, but they're getting this training block where they can feel a lot better about the process.
Yeah, they feel a lot better, and they have somebody to bounce ideas off of and get educated about. And the way I look at it is the same way that departments should look at using Safeguard and using Brian's company, is that pull in these pieces that are an expertise that you don't have internally to enhance what you're doing. Nobody's coming in to take over your recruiting. They're just making it better and filling in those pieces that it's hard to get that expertise within your law enforcement department.
Yeah, there's no question that this is a piece that recruiters are doing. Recruiters should be educating the candidates and the applicants and kind of helping them out. But why not give them more? And Brian just makes it so easy for them to do. So I'm super excited about the partnership. Without further ado, let's bring him on and we'll hear what he has to say. It's our newest partner with Safeguard Recruiting, Brian Ellis. Welcome back to Staffing the Mission. As you know, we're on all podcast platforms, and boy, what a week it's been, and we're excited to have today's guest. Today's guest is Brian Ellis. He's a retired police lieutenant with over 25 years of experience. He's an author. He's an instructor. He's a crisis management professional and one of the best sort of leadership influencers you'll find today. And he is the founder of Tactical Concepts. They drive recruiting conversion for public safety. He's a partner with us here at Safeguard Recruiting. We're going to get into what he does for us and for our clients and what he can do for you, but it's incredible and it's one you need to listen to. Brian Ellis, how you doing, sir?
I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you, Travis.
Well, our audience is well-versed in a lot of things that you and I sort of deal with every day. We know there's not a recruiting crisis. We know it's just making decisions and sewing up your processes and tightening things up. But one thing that we have dealt with at Safeguard with really all of our clients is their conversion rate, once somebody applies, it's still relatively low. The national average is about 4%. We've been able to get that up to 5 or 6% if we can sort of move some of their processes around, i.e., don't make them fill out a 50-page background first, get them to a test first, get them to the easy things first, build a relationship with them. But we continue to hear, though, about the dropout rate. We had one particular client that they were losing 50% of the people at the physical fitness alone. That's not failing. That's just not showing up. And so we've talked to them about how to educate. We've talked to them how to do this. But quite frankly, Brian, they're just working their tail off to get a lot of people in the front end of the pipeline, right? So what happens is a lot of people sort of get lost in that process for a variety of reasons. They're nervous. They have anxiety. They're not sure what's going to happen. That's why we partner with you at Tactical Concepts, because I think your company is going to just change the game with what we're all trying to do, which is to staff agency schools. So tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of why you developed Tactical Concepts.
Yeah, that's in regards to why I want to chew on this problem is, I mean, when I left the profession, I still, I wanted not just to be another, coffee shop hero and sitting at a coffee shop, and just regaling old war stories. I continuously want to serve a profession that, that was a big part of my life for a long time. And so, in a productive way. And that's what I had been doing over the last, 3.5 years, from a different lens. But, as you and I have talked in a lot of conversations, is I love to chew in on problems and this recruiting problem. And we know it's bigger than just, it's not just recruiting. Recruiting's too nebulous of a word that captures this entire problem. It's been in our profession for over a decade, and we're still struggling with it, and it's been compounded in recent years. But I don't necessarily know that it's always just because there's just not enough applicants out there. We're down so many. The applicant volume is down, so that's the issue. I don't think that we're being truthful in regards to that, because I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to take a systems thinking idea and really look at friction, because that's really what it comes down to. There's a lot of friction points that we can smooth out and make it a lot easier to get the applicants that we, or to get the hires that we need.
Yeah, what I like about what you're doing and why we're working together, so to speak, is because on the safeguard side, Brian, we've done a lot of things to help with the conversions. We can take applications and keep it mobile friendly, take the registration process off of that. We automate communication, so there's constant communication and nurturing to the candidates. That also helps. But the one thing that a lot of our clients struggle with, a lot of agencies struggle with, is just the sheer education. I mean, I think we discount the fact of how daunting this process is for outsiders because we went through it and we're doing the job, and it's hard to put ourselves in their shoes. And so we see a lot of people that come in the front end that just get scared or nervous, or they just don't show up at the next event. And so what you do is you go straight to the candidate for the agency, and you educate them about that process, and you can customize this for the agency. Just tell us what that looks like, because I think you combine with what you do with what we already do. I think the days of a 4% conversion rate are over with. I think we're going to see it go much, much higher, and I think it's darn near just going to be a guarantee if they implement this. Just kind of talk to us about what you do to sort of enhance that conversion process.
Yeah, I mean, I'll use, so in my own backyard, Atlanta Police Department, they've reported over, I think it was a 5-year study that that 92% of applicants voluntarily drop out. And, so like, again, as really just thinking about problems and wanting to chew on big problems for the profession and raising my hand to serve, I really started thinking, my Y kid hat,
Yep.
got put on, and it was just like, well, why is that? And so I just went all the way down that rabbit hole, right, and started to think about all the different nuances that come with that. And that's a big challenge. Think about it. I mean, that's like, if we're an NBA player, like you wouldn't want me on the free throw line if I miss 92% of my shots. You'd be fouling me every time. That's just good math to stay ahead in the game. So what I found is a lot of it is just what you said, is that there's just so much friction for the applicant, and there's so much mystic, but they don't really understand the process or the flow of the process enough to where they just go, man, like I'm off to the next thing, because I know
Yep.
there's other opportunities that are not going to take anywhere from 4 months to a year long to do, and and they just, sometimes it's filling in that why, right? I mean, I think that a lot of people can get behind a hard and complicated system once they understand the system. Because I'll tell you, I mean, when you get on the other side of a hiring process, when you get your badge pinned, one of my mentors, one of the things that he always said throughout my career, he'd say it, usually around like Christmas time or when somebody was retiring. He just talked about the nobility of the profession. It's an honor to have that responsibility, and I think sometimes we don't think about that enough. And so how can we really get people, give them the discipline that they need to go, hey, you got this. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah. We're going to obviously take this to all of our clients and say, hey, this is something you've got to look at. But what does it look like from an agency? So if an agency, they're feeling pretty comfortable with their pipeline, but they're not hiring enough of them, right? We're bringing in 100 applicants, but we're only hiring 4 or 5 of them, but we want to hire more. If an agency calls you up, I mean, what does that look like? Because I know you have an education platform that you're not educating the recruiters. They know what they're doing. You're educating the ones that don't know, which is the candidate. So how easy is it to onboard an agency and get that information to those candidates quickly?
Yeah, I mean, it's super easy. I mean, it's we have a digital product that basically helps applicants understand every stage of a hiring process, and there's multiple stages, right? So, and so it gives them not only does it give them confidence of, okay, this is what's required of me in this stage, and that's what I'm going to have to do in this stage, and I mean, even down to the polygraph. We're going to prepare them for a polygraph. We're not going to show them, how to beat a polygraph. I mean, that's ludicrous. What we're going to do is kind of give them education that helps them understand what it is that process is looking for.
Yep.
And I think that in of itself helps. Not only it not only helps the applicant, but it helps the background as well, because you get people who are grounded in why I'm doing this and what's the mission of today, and I think they're just going to perform a lot higher.
Yeah, and I know you're not going to get into pricing, but I can tell you we wouldn't have partnered with you if it was going to be not conducive for every agency in America to bring you on board. You can look at hiring bonuses out there that a lot of these agencies are offering. You're way below any hiring bonus you can think of. So that's up to you to get into it with the clients, or if a client asks us directly because we're partners, what this looks like, we can certainly send them your way and have some brief discussions on that. But the bargain is this: if I can double my hires on my hiring pool for not a lot of money, my goodness. And that's a product that the recruiters aren't having to work harder. They're already working harder to get them in the front of the pipeline. They don't have to do anything. All that's going to happen is more people are going to go through the process by taking your product, and your background and credibility, so to speak, I think would be just a bonus for any agency to have. So Brian, man, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. Here at Safeguard, we always talk about that we're a solutions-based product. We're trying to solve solutions. Well, this is a solution that we've been wanting to solve. We didn't have the bandwidth to solve it. We saw what you were doing, and it was just a no-brainer for us to go, Brian, we got to have you on the team. Obviously, you have your own company, but we talk about you, you talk about us, you combine what we do together. It's going to be a win-win for every agency out there. So how can they reach out to you? How can they talk to you more about this?
Yeah, Travis, first of all, this is budget dust, right? This isn't a way to capitalize on a profession. It's a way to help a profession in a meaningful way that is a big problem. And so, my pledge is there's going to be a tremendous amount of value for an organization to partner with me, and an applicant to partner with me. Both sides of wherever I help this problem for the profession, there's definitely incredible value. I'm on LinkedIn, and then the website is badgereadycoach.com. And yeah, more to come. I mean, hopefully we can provide a lot more value, just not only what we're doing in this arena, but there's a lot of opportunities for recruiters that want additional help in in their skills and abilities in their role, to kind of think a little bit differently, and we want to make sure that we leave no stone unturned for an agency that really wants to tackle this problem.
Well, I'm excited, Brian. We'll have to bring you on in a few months, because you're no doubt going to have the data behind this, and as these agencies start picking you up, and they're going to be able to show immediate success, because this is real data, real numbers. They're going to be able to track this immediately once they sign up with you there at Tactical Concepts. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining our efforts, because truly we're just trying to make these communities safer. We're trying to take the load off of all these officers that are just under a tremendous amount of stress because there's not enough employees there at the department. So thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate the time. Thank you.
And if you've joined us here at Staffing the Mission, as you know, we'll see you back again next week.